UConn women's basketball on SNY is brought to you by Toyota. For great offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By People's United Bank NA, where our know-how starts with knowing you. By Town Fair Tire, every brand at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire, nobody. And by the Connecticut State Farm agents of the game, Steve Boyle in Fairfield County and Matthew Boop in Bristol. Speak with them today. Special ceremony before the start of this game because up in the rafters here at Gamble Pavilion, they unveiled just the latest championship banner. That's banner 11 for Gino Auriemma in the UConn women's basketball program. Perfect way to turn the page, and we are very happy to welcome in the newest member of our SNY UConn team, Justine Ward, whose report tonight is brought to you by Nissan. Justine.
All right, thank you, Eric and Matt. Well, we spoke with Nafisa Collier. She had a hip surgery in April. She said it's the hard work she put in over the summer and in rehab that has really helped her elevate the game. Now, the UConn Huskies are hoping for another big game from her tonight, and Gino Auriemma telling us that it's up to her and Gabby Williams to get a running game going and to get this Baylor defense moving. Guys?
All right, Justine, thanks very much. Let's take a look at the starting lineups presented by Subaru for Baylor. Alexis Jones, Christy Wallace, Alexis Prince joining Davis, and Beatrice Montpremier as Kalani Brown will come off the bench. For UConn, the starting five, Sanaya Chong, Kia Nurse, Gabby Williams, Katie Lou Samuelson, and Nafisa Collier coming off that 28 points, 8 rebound, 4 block performance in the season opening win over Florida State. We are ready to go here at a very loud Gamble Pavilion. The opening tip fought for and won by Baylor in their road green and gold. Rochelle Jones, Dee Kantner, Joe Vasili, our officiating crew here at Gamble. Wallace, defended by Chong. Jones, the lefty, will try the step back and knock it down. Alexis Jones averaging 15.5 points a game through the first 2 games of the season, had 15 points, attempted 20 field goals in the win against UCLA, improving Baylor's record to 2-0. Williams, the kick out. And an offensive foul called on Gabby Williams. That was a huge issue for Williams. 3 quick fouls in that game against Florida State.
Yeah, you see here, she tries to go. Really good help defense by Baylor, stepping in and taking the charge. I love the confidence Baylor playing with early.
They really came across as a very confident bunch led by their head coach, Kim Mulkey, during the shoot-around this morning. One thing that UConn's going to need to do, they're going to have to win every 50-50 ball. They're not going to have a lot of success on the glass, so anything that comes outside like that, they've got to get to. 2 quick field goals as Beatrice Montpremier knocks it down.
Nice. That was a smart play by Baylor to get it to Montpremier. Gabby Williams does not want to commit her second foul.
Katie Lou Samuelson will try it too and make it.
She could have taken that 3. I like that she put the ball on the floor. Don't just settle for the 3.
Good dish inside, but good help defense by Gabby Williams.
Showing her athleticism. Nice anticipation. Look at that, coming over to help. Bam.
Wallace, good shooter, so Sanaya Chong out there tight defensively. Forced her into a very tough shot, and lost out of bounds UConn basketball.
Something Gino Auriemma stressed before the game is put pressure on the basketball. Yeah, they may have the height advantage inside, but if you're making it hard for the guards to get the ball in, that's going to help UConn's postgame.
Collier. Kia Nurse calling for it. 9 on the shot clock. Nurse will try a three. Collier on the offensive glass for two.
Nice job on the glass by Collier, not giving up on the play.
Alexis Prince. Back outside Davis. Jones calling for a screen. Nurse sticking with her. Back outside Davis has a very unorthodox shot, as you can tell by that jumper that's off the mark. And here comes Sanaya Chong. Williams in deep. Bit of a surprise here that they're attacking, but they attack out of transition to find Williams, and she has her first points.
Well, that was a nice play by Williams, one-on-one inside, but going by the bigger Montpremier. You can't shoot over her.
Wallace, and a foul is called on UConn. Take you back to the last two UConn buckets.
Well, see, the shot goes up. Not a good box out by Baylor. Nobody put a body on Nafisa Collier. And then check this out. Oh, this is a great angle. Going by, using the left hand. Tough to block.
The foul was on Samuelson, her first. Wallace able to carry it into the backcourt. A lot of protesting on that Samuelson foul from Samuelson, but Gino Oriema very loud. Good team defense on the inside, and a foul called on Baylor. You know, Gino Oriema could kind of make it sound like, well, it's just another November game. We're built for March and April, but there's no question that for these two head coaches today, this is not just another November game.
No, it is not. But what I love about Oriema's demeanor, nice pass.
UConn doing a great job running some offense too. Sanaya Chong open on the inside, and how about the advantage in the paint for UConn in the early going?
What a great back cut that time by Chong, and a pretty feed.
Kalani Brown has come into the game, and the bouncing ball falls into Baylor's hands, and Montpremier knocks it down for her second field goal.
You know, we showed Gino a moment ago, and one thing that's been striking early in this season so far, his presence and demeanor on the sideline. Very calm, very patient.
Kalani Brown is 6'7", so she is very big on the inside. She gets her first rebound, and here comes Jones for Baylor. Again, inside.
See the double.
Montpremier outside to Wallace has struggled with her shot in the early going this year. On the offensive glass, there is Kalani Brown, who'll go to the free throw line.
And Gabby Williams grabbing her head. That's her second foul. You know, she was out of position. See, you got to turn and body. See, she fell, and what happened was she fell and now is coming back in, and you saw her put her hands on her head immediately because she knew.
We saw it Florida State. 2 fouls will not get you out of the game. So Gabby Williams will stay in there because the depth is a huge issue for UConn, no question about it. But Natalie Butler will now get up on her feet. She gave UConn some pretty good minutes against Florida State when they needed some rebounding, and they needed to protect Williams, who picked up her third foul against Florida State. She goes to the bench with 2 here tonight.
Well, I like that Oriema took Gabby out now right after the second. He didn't do that Monday, and she picked up the third rather quickly. And the only way Butler is going to continue to get confidence is to just get in there and play. You got, you know, playing against the practice players during the week is one thing, but game-like, that's it, man. Get in the game and figure it out.
Collier, nifty little dribble to get some space, just couldn't hit. And there's Butler right away getting on the glass. Well done by Natalie Butler, and a second chance here for UConn. Inside of 5 to go in the first quarter. Butler trying to show a little offense. How about that?
Coming in off the bench, making things happen, getting that offensive rebound, knocking down the 10-footer.
Scored 4 points, pulled down 6 rebounds, had 2 assists in her 23 minutes against Florida State. And a foul called on Baylor. A lot of energy on the court from this UConn team, and the crowd feeding into it as well. We get to our first media timeout. It comes with 4:37 to go here in our opening quarter. A lot of the fans getting to their feet here at Gamble Pavilion. Natalie Butler off the bench, knocking down her first two, and UConn's up two. Entertaining start to this matchup between number 3 UConn and number 2 Baylor. 2-point game first quarter. Let's check in with Meg for our first look at Como's Court Vision, brought to you by Yale New Haven Health.
What Gino taught before the game, you got to put pressure on the basketball. Watch Kia Nurse, really nice pressure on the ball, fronting in the low post. That bad pass that comes in, and Collier there on the weak side to help out on the backside of the taller 6'7". So you get the nice athleticism with Gabby Williams fronting in that low post, and then she can elevate to steal that ball.
Gabby Williams with the 2 fouls, had 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists against Florida State. And we didn't see it at all last year, players fouling out, but 2 players fouled out of the Florida State game. Gino Auriemma, as you mentioned, not giving Gabby Williams a chance to pick up a third one here in an intense first quarter. Natalie Butler coming in and contributing right away. Butler to Collier. Block shot for Baylor's Montpremier.
Yeah, nice block by Montpremier to anticipate that.
Freshman Lauren Cox into the game for Baylor, along with classmate Natalie Cho, 2 of the top recruits in the country. Cox considered the top recruit in the country last year. Three-pointer is long from Prince. Fight for the loose ball. Collier. We saw that last year. Certainly has a nose for the ball. Is going to win a lot of those battles. And here's Samuelson. Works with the Butler screen. Kia Nurse still trying to find her shot, and another offensive rebound for Butler. Chong walked. Turnover number 2 for the Huskies.
You know, you can handle that kind of a turnover if you're Gino Auriemma. You know, really good aggressive play by Chong. Trying to make things happen, but it's that indecision, being indecisive. That's when you make mistakes.
Lauren Cox goes to the bench. Nina Davis checks in. Jones got it for 3.
Tremendous ball movement by Baylor. Fired the ball around the perimeter.
Jones was 1 for 9 on her home court from outside the 3-point line against UCLA. 5 quick points here against UConn. Chong trying to secure the loose ball, does to Samuelson. Tried to feed it inside the Butler, a turnover. Here's Jones.
When you throw it to someone 6'5", you got to throw it way up.
Baylor really good in transition, but they can't knock down the shot, but they get a second chance. Davis trying to work on Collier, and a traveling violation. Turnover number 2 for the Lady Bears.
Well, I like the way they fire the ball around from the right side. Looking in, nope. Looking in, nope. Bam.
Crystal Dangerfield, the freshman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, making her home debut. Here she is with the basketball. She came in for Sanaya Chong. Dangerfield. Took just a beat too long for that pass to get to Butler. 7 to shoot. Nurse, Dangerfield has to launch to beat the shot clock. Welcome to Storrs, young lady.
I think she'll remember her first shot in Gamble for the rest of her life. A big one.
Puts UConn back in front by 2. Montpremier offensive foul. Nafisa Collier taking the contact.
That was tremendous team defense, but scrambling with the shot clock. Winding down. Dangerfield knocks it down.
She was 0 for 2 at Florida State. Knocks down her first attempt in Stores.
Look at her running the show already.
Dangerfield on the run. Too strong. Wallace picks it up, taken away by Samuelson. Samuelson for 3. Big points for UConn. Scoring off the turnover. And Kim Mulkey takes a timeout with 1:10 to go in the first quarter. Upset with her team. Sloppy pass up the court. Samuelson took advantage.
Now, I understand why Mulkey is upset. Some of those unforced errors that her club is making. And Samuelson, see, this is where she's at her best. That's like a layup for Lou. Nice job stepping in, stealing the errant pass and saying, nope, I got you. You're not going to stop me? Bam. And I like to see that emotion. You know, something Gino Auriemma was talking about earlier, a week or two ago, is that, you know what, she's just coasting. Well, there, to see that sort of enthusiasm, that's what she needs.
I tell you what, Meg, one thing, just sitting here courtside, you've seen a lot of that emotion. Nafisa Collier showing some emotion. These were kids who were kind of happy with their place. They contributed to a national championship team, but with big personalities like Jefferson and Tuck and Stewart, maybe it's time for them to bring that out. We've seen it from Samuelson and Collier certainly so far.
No question. And Monday, I think they were stunned a little bit at Florida State. Now they're starting to figure it out a bit.
UConn with 8 points off of 4 Baylor turnovers. Out of the timeout, Wallace knocks down a corner 3. First points for Christy Wallace. Final minute, opening quarter. Collier. Dangerfield, why not? Try again. Make it again.
Not playing like a freshman.
Shot clock is off. Final seconds of the first quarter. This end of the floor, it's going to take a while for Dangerfield to figure out defensively. Runs into the screen. Wallace kicks it over to Prince. Prince for 3. Batted up in the air. Out to Dangerfield, and that's the end of a very entertaining first quarter. I think we were all curious as to what kind of UConn team would come out here in their home opener. There's been one showing a lot of passion and no fear when it comes to the freshman, Crystal Dangerfield, who knocked down 2 3-pointers, and UConn has a 5-point lead after 1. We welcome you back to Gampo Pavilion on the campus of the University of Connecticut for the 6th meeting all time between UConn and Baylor. UConn with a 3-2 edge. They last met January 2014. UConn picked up an 11-point win in Waco. Brianna Stewart had 18 points and 11 rebounds in that game. Odyssey Sims had 20 points in that game, but was 4 of 25 from the field. So not a lot of history, but 2 of the very best programs. In fact, UConn's won the last 4 national championships. The winner of the last national championship before UConn went on this current run was Baylor, of course, with Brittany Griner. 1914 at the end of 1. And let's send it over to Justine, who has a very special guest.
Yes, Eric, a familiar face, I'm sure. Morgan Tuck. So, Morgan, what's it like to be back and not in uniform?
It's really weird to be able to watch. The last time I was in Gampo watching a game, I was a recruit, so it's bittersweet to be here.
What do you think of the offensive intensity so far that we've seen in the first quarter, especially against a Baylor supersized team?
It's been great. You know, I think us being able to hit some outside shots definitely gets us going. You know, Crystal came in and made a big impact, so hopefully they can keep that going.
Obviously, a lot of these players, your former teammates. What's the one piece of advice you think you'd give to them?
Just keep their intensity level up and to play hard. Baylor's really big, so you have to box out and really work hard on the defensive end, on the rebounds, but just go have fun and enjoy the moment.
And Morgan, how do you think playing at UConn prepared you for the professional level?
it helped a lot. You know, Coach puts us through anything and everything that we'll need, you know, moving forward. And the intensity level that we have to practice at, it's something that you won't see anywhere else. So, you know, it's not hard to, you know, fit in when you go to the next level.
Right, Morgan Tuck, good to be back. Thank you so much, Eric Meg. Back to you.
Justine, thanks very much. Katie Lou Samuelson is fouled by freshman Lauren Cox, so she'll go to the free throw line. First free throw attempts of the evening coming for UConn. Great to see Morgan and her smiling face here. We joked around a little bit, like, you know, you might still have some eligibility left, but that pro contract.
Yeah, she did. She could have played another year.
She could have played another year, but she was very happy with the decision she made as Sanaya Chong comes into the game and Kia Nurse goes to the bench. Checking in, Kadisha Cave, senior from Augusta, Georgia, played all 38 games last year. This is her first appearance this year. That's what Baylor has right now. They've got a lot of players that they will bring in. Kim Mulkey was trying to figure out what her real rotation would be, but this is a time for experimenting a little bit. And we've seen her go into her bench a little bit here in this first quarter plus.
Yeah, she was joking with us today, but she's not really sure. I said, well, what keeps you up at night? She goes, figuring out my rotation. It's almost like they have too many options. I'm like, really? That's your biggest problem? But it's true. Trying to figure out what combinations work well together. You can only figure that out in game action.
Alexis Jones, leading scorer for Baylor so far. She has 5. Field goal shooting in that first quarter. Each team attempted 14 field goals. UConn making 8, Baylor making 5. UConn's been very strong on the defensive end. Wallace, she didn't get away with it. A little bit of a delayed whistle, but had that free arm out. Gets called for the offensive foul.
I think it's a good call. It's a late one. You see the left arm. A little dramatics there by Chong. But definitely the left arm initiated the contact. Good call by D. Cantner.
Collier, a little acceleration to the basket. There's Natalie Butler again. She's provided some pretty good minutes off the bench. And a jump ball, possession arrow going Baylor's way.
Really good hustle inside by Butler. Look at that. Coming down with it. Then wide dribble and go away. Go towards the basket. Initiate contact. Get yourself fouled.
Dangerfield trying to slow Wallace down. Up for Jones, defended by Chong. Collier on the switch. Jones well off the mark. And a foul is going to be called on UConn. It's going to be Katie Lou Samuelson picking up her second personal.
So they struggle on the ball screen. There's some communication lapses I've noticed with UConn a couple times.
Sanaya Chong trying to grab at the basketball. Prince knocks down a three-point. Alexis Prince, grad student out of Orlando, Florida. She was Baylor's Comeback Player of the Year award winner after last season. She had a preseason knee injury, kept working at it, missed 14 games. Came back to contribute to the Lady Bears last year.
Well, she'll be MVP of this game if she keeps knocking down shots like that with UConn triple teaming the post.
Collier, the offensive rebound, another reset for UConn. Chong called for the travel.
So you watch the triple team there. Look at that, 3 white jerseys. And Prince doing exactly what her teammates need her to do. Knock down those open shots to keep the defense honest.
Jones tried to drop it down low to one of her bigs, but threw it away. Turnover, Baylor. Next UConn women's basketball home game, Tuesday, the 22nd. You know, Thanksgiving week is just about here, so that's the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Right here at Gamble Pavilion, Huskies taking on Dayton at 7. Tickets are available at UConnTickets.com.
How is it Thanksgiving already?
1 week from tonight.
We got a lot of work to do.
Cave gets called for the personal foul. Kim Mulkey in her 17th season as Baylor's head coach, 475 wins, a couple of national championships, 6 straight 30-win seasons. And really, these are two teams that try to schedule up in the non-conference schedule, and Mulkey has the added benefit of playing in the Big 12, where a lot tougher games on the schedule come conference play to get you ready for NCAA tournament time.
And they have dominated the Big 12, quite like UConn has dominated the American, and before that, the Big East.
Butler continues to contribute. There defensively, pulls down the defensive rebound, tries to set a little screen for the freshman. Dangerfield steps up to get it. Tough spot to score from, but she kissed it off the window for 2. Kid's playing great.
She's a gamer.
Davis left open. Butler makes sure it's one and done for Baylor. UConn a chance to push the lead to double figures.
And they're trying to push the ball. Nice job by Baylor getting back in transition.
Drop down for Butler. Rebound for Baylor. Jones. Tell Jones wants it.
Well, Jones is a great passer, but Mulkey wants her to look to shoot more. Good decision that time.
Jones started her career at Duke, actually played against UConn with the Blue Devils. Now a member of Baylor. Dangerfield, that's going to roll off the top. Rebounded by Baylor. Jones throws it up, gets the roll, count it, and the foul. Alexis Jones taking over for Baylor. Chance to make it a 3-point game.
I like the way she just went hard down the floor, but kind of a bizarre play. Collier just tried to go in there, and Jones a little bit out of control, but drew the foul. It worked in her favor. I don't think that's exactly how they would draw that play up, but they'll take it.
Jones in her second year with the Lady Bears. Can't convert the 3-point play, so it's a 4-point lead for UConn. Collier picked up the foul, her first personal. And now a turnover. Turnover number 5 for Connecticut.
That was yin and yang, right? Nurse started to back cut, stayed. That's just that chemistry stuff. Dangerfield threw it out of bounds because she thought she was staying. Those are the types of plays that won't happen the more these guys become familiar with each other.
Jones.
Got a mismatch there.
Butler trying to hold her ground. Collier on the switch. Open look in the corner for 3. Grabbed by the freshman Cox. Cox still fighting. Now gets some help, and a foul is called on Butler. Cave will go to the line to shoot a couple.
And that's where rebounding comes into play. UConn cannot get the defensive rebound. You know, give credit to Baylor for crashing the boards. You know, I don't know if Chong really boxed out there, but give Baylor credit.
Get us to our media timeout, Meg. 4-point game, second quarter here in Stores. Stay on top of all things UConn with up-to-the-minute Huskies news, game recaps, press conferences, and exclusive interviews on SNYUConn.com. Presented by Mercedes-Benz, part of the SNY.TV blog network. And be sure to stay with us at halftime. Michelle Yu, Kara Walters, and special guest Sue Bird.
Susie Q.
Have all your first half highlights. Plus you'll hear Gino's outlook on the Huskies defense on the UConn women's basketball halftime show presented by your local Ford dealer. Well, let's get a sneak peek. What do you think of UConn's defense and what you've seen so far, Meg Como?
I'm incredibly impressed with the way UConn has played tonight. Much better patience and balance and composure from what we saw on Monday. And I think they're quite capable. You know, they just play the way, they don't have to do anything superhuman, but they've proved themselves in this first half thus far that they can play with Baylor.
They've held Baylor to 33% shooting from the field. UConn with 2 blocked shots, 1 for Williams, who picked up 2 fouls in her first 5 minutes of the game tonight. 1 block for Natalie Butler. Deja Cave at the free throw line, shoot a couple. After shooting 57% from the floor in the first quarter, UConn 2 of 9 so far here in quarter number 2. Those 2 points for Cave. Dangerfield, Collier, Chong, Nurse, and Butler, the 5 on the floor for UConn. Chong, an offensive threat. Back out to Collier, now to Nurse, and Nurse gets called for the walk. Now, it's been a struggle for Kia Nurse, no question about it. I think she's kind of that player that we've seen over the last couple of years, Meg, that she'll put a lot of pressure on herself. And we've seen that, and that can just build and build and build until something good happens.
Yeah, just play and have fun. Don't overthink it. You know, you got to give Baylor credit on that defensive stance. Really good half-court man-to-man.
Now they move it around the perimeter, and an open shot for a shooter. Christy Wallace knocks down her second three-pointer. Baylor's now 4 of 11 from outside the three-point line, and the Lady Bears are back in front. Tough catch for Collier. Save it to Nurse. 5 on the shot clock. Dangerfield does it again. 10 points for Crystal Dangerfield, and UConn back in front.
Love the confidence and the swagger the freshman plays with.
Kia Nurse last touched it, and it'll be Baylor basketball.
You know, when Baylor fires the ball around the perimeter, got a nice wide open shot, and then Dangerfield on the run, kissing it off the glass. Not playing like a freshman.
Molly Bent on the floor for her first home appearance. Freshman from Cape Cod. Wallace. Collier off to Nurse. Nurse gets the contact. Well, when you look on the floor right now, Meg, you see Nafisa Collier's got a lot of offensive skill. Crystal Dangerfield has provided some surprising points for UConn, and 2 of their go-to players have been watching with the 2 fouls, and UConn's on top by 1.
Exactly, and you know, it's what we talked about off the top of the show. Who is going to be the offensive weapon? You know, Gino doesn't know, and I don't know if it's very clear yet, but the good thing for them early, we can see they've got lots of different options presenting themselves already.
Maybe it's a good thing that they don't have that one go-to player, so when your core starters like Gabby Williams and Katie Lou Samuelson get into foul trouble, this is going to be a season where there are going to be foul challenges because the depth's being tested, and UConn did such a great job over the last few years. I know. I'm looking in the rearview mirror of defending without fouling.
Stay present.
Trying. Jones, defended by Bent. Kia Nurse gambled. Cox couldn't make her pay. Butler kept it alive for Dangerfield. Takes it to the middle of the floor, finds Nurse. Back to Collier. Nurse sets, launches. She needed that.
Boy, did she need it, and it didn't even go in that nice. It rattled around.
UConn trying to get a steal. There's Butler getting a hand in there again. Nowhere for Baylor to go. And a 3-second violation called, and a travel and a turnover for the Lady Bears.
Butler continuing to get involved on both ends of the floor. Nice job by not committing the foul in there. The 3-second violation.
Freshman Kyla Irwin making her UConn debut, did not get in against Florida State. Here she is, number 25 from State College, Pennsylvania. 3 freshmen on the floor together right now against second-ranked Baylor. Dangerfield tried the nice little pass inside, but Butler couldn't grab it.
Well, you got to remember, you're passing a bounce pass to a 6'5" kid.
And Wallace knocks down the three in transition, her third three-pointer.
A tough knockdown there by Wallace. She's made a couple key shots when Baylor's really needed it.
She was 1 for 6 from outside the three-point line in her first 2 games, but she has found the range here at Storrs.
Butler tired right now. Or better yet, she's exhausted. That's why she turned it over there.
90 seconds to go before halftime. Davis, 8 on the shot clock. Bent extending the defense to Wallace. Wallace, challenge shot. No, and a foul called on Baylor's Montpremier. I wonder if Gino Auriemma thinks about using a timeout here to buy Butler a little time, because you're not going to bring Gabby Williams in at this point.
No, it doesn't look like he's gonna. He just called Butler over to talk to her. Oh, so free throws. 5th foul.
Remember, last year was a big rule change, point of emphasis, and the big wholesale change in women's basketball with the 4 quarters, shooting 2 free throws on the 5th foul of the quarter. And Butler.
She continues to impress early this season. Now, those numbers may not look that impressive, but those 4 points and 6 rebounds came at a critical time.
1 of 2, but there's Kia Nurse. Nurse calls for it from Bent. That one won't stay down. Irwin had her hands on it, but couldn't hold on to it.
It's nice to see a little smile on Kia Nurse's face. Have a little fun out there. Putting too much pressure on herself.
Wallace trying to get away from Dangerfield, takes it right at Butler.
They let a lot of contact go in that possession.
And Wallace just lost it out of bounds. It's UConn basketball.
But there were a couple fouls. Earlier there was one I thought from Dangerfield. All right, let that one go.
Kim Mulkey really working her efficiency. I think Dee Kantner gave her a warning a moment ago.
Well, it wouldn't be a game if Mulkey doesn't get animated on the sidelines.
Final minute of the second quarter. Nurse drives to the basket, just too strong.
I don't think she expected to be that open.
Jones lost it for the moment, but saved it. About 3 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. They have to get it across half court. And Jones does just in time. She took the basketball off her face, actually. Kia Nurse picks up the foul. That's just the 4th team foul on UConn, so no free throws here for Baylor. They'll inbound it on the side with 11.8 to go. Davis hands it off to Jones. She's had a good first half. Jones now on Butler. 2, down the 1, Jones. That's the end of the first half. That's good first half for UConn, as they got contributions from the reserves. Crystal Dangerfield had 10 points. Natalie Butler provided a spark off the bench for UConn. She had 3 points and 5 rebounds. Let's hear from the head coach. Gino's with Justine.
Gino, a lot of energy with 2 of your starters in foul trouble. What did you like in that first half?
Well, I like the way we fought them, you know. Obviously, they're not an easy team to play against. We're able to fight them, and I thought defensively we did an incredibly good job considering the foul situation. But our offense is just, I don't even understand it. Like, it's like if we could generate any kind of offense, you know, just a little bit of offense, we would be in great shape. So I don't know what we have to do, but it just seems like every time down the floor, we give up on our offense so easily. So we've got to stay with it, make them play some defense, and I think we'll be all right.
All right, Coach, thank you. Eric, back to you.
Bench points in the first half. UConn 13, Baylor 4. And on the scoreboard, it's a 3-point edge for the four-time defending national champions. With a 76-game winning streak on the line against second-ranked Baylor, we're at the half. UConn women's basketball on SNY is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, proud to be the official furniture store of the UConn Huskies. By Subaru of New England, supplying all-wheel drive vehicles with a passion for fall activities. And by Trantolo and Trantolo, Connecticut's personal injury law firm. Same time, call 9. First half stats are presented by Bob's Discount Furniture. A couple things jump out. One, UConn held Baylor to 32% shooting in the first half, and UConn was a +1 in rebounding margin. So a couple of surprising things have transpired in this first half. Let's get the Baylor point of view. Justine Ward standing by with Kim Balke.
All right, Kim, you just spoke with your team at the half. What adjustments are you looking to make in the second half here?
Well, second chance points. You can't give them that many open looks at the three, long rebounds off of missed free throws, those kind of things. You know, we think we're a pretty good offensive rebounding team, and I just thought they out-hustled us to a lot of offensive boards. I thought we had critical turnovers that weren't forced turnovers. So just settle down and go play. I thought Kalani Brown getting in foul trouble early just messed the whole rotation up, and we got to get some production out of her and the other post players.
All right, Coach, thank you. Eric, back to you.
Now, Brown played just 2 minutes in the first half, had those 2 personal fouls. Natalie Butler had 5 rebounds in the first half. 3 of those 5 rebounds were on the offensive glass. What jumped out to you in the first half?
I was impressed of UConn's toughness. You know, I thought they came out and gutted some things out defensively. And Butler, I thought, gave tremendous minutes. Nice inside position there. And, you know, hands up, tracking down offensive rebounds. And offensively, she gave them production. Now, she only had 3 points. But boy, did she make them at good times. 5 rebounds as well. And Dangerfield, the spark off the bench, the freshman, knocking down the 3, and then to the left, the pull up the top of the key. No nerves, no fear, and the kiss.
Leading scorers, Dangerfield with the 10 points. Samuelson had 2 first half fouls. She scored 7. Nurse and Collier with 4 each. For Baylor, one of their top players didn't score in the first half. Nina Davis held scoreless, and she is not on the floor to start the second half for Baylor, as Kalani Brown is out there to start the second half for the Bears.
I know Mulkey wants to get Brown involved in this game. Only 2 minutes due to fouls in the first half.
Chong had her shot blocked. 14 on the shot clock for UConn. Williams had to sit a long time in that first half. Played just 5 minutes after picking up 2 quick fouls. And they just want to feed it into Brown. You can tell there's the game plan right there. Get it inside to the 6'7" sophomore. She has 4.
Well, Mulkey's got to feel good that her kids are listening to her.
Nurse will try a jumper. Well, you heard what Gino Auriemma said to Justine Ward as he walked off the court at the end of the first half, that his team was giving up on their offense. Was not happy at all with what they were doing offensively, and right now Baylor's come out. They're taking it to UConn in these first couple of minutes.
Yeah, he wants to talk about it. Not happy. You know,
so the halftime reaction, Baylor coming out, responding to what their coach had to say, and UConn a little flat out in the locker room. Kalani Brown on the inside. Baylor on top by 1 after back-to-back hoops from Brown and Montpremier. Timeout UConn, second half. Well, when you're done here at Gamble, stick around because this is just game 1 of a UConn doubleheader. Men's basketball coming up 10 p.m. as Kevin Ollie and UConn men look to turn things around out west against Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles. Gary Apple, Tim Welsh, Taylor Rooks standing by to bring you that one. Loyola Marymount 1-1 on the season, as we all know, UConn 0-2. So an early timeout, a minute 9 into the third quarter, called by Gino Auriemma. Had to be unhappy on both ends of the floor. Came easy for Baylor attacking the paint. And Not much offense being run by UConn
Yeah,
thus far.
that offensive problem, that's a carryover from the first half.
Sanaya Chong taking a jumper. That won't go, and now Baylor comes away with it.
You know, one pass, two dribbles, and a shot is not necessarily offense from Gino Auriemma's playbook.
And a foul is called on Kia Nurse.
Yeah, bumping with the body, the hand.
Gabby Williams trying to deny the inbound pass. And out of the scramble, it's a three-pointer for Alexis Jones. 12 points for Jones to lead Baylor in scoring. 4-point lead for the Lady Bears. 7 unanswered points for Baylor.
First 5 minutes of the second half is often critical time.
Gabby Williams is going to take a three and miss it. One and done. Again, another thing that Mulkey told Justine, not letting UConn getting those second chance opportunities.
Yeah, she doesn't want her team being out-hustled anymore.
And a foul is called on Montpremier. My guess is that the Baylor head coach doesn't agree. Not a really good reader of body language.
Oh. I feel for Kim, because in that case, you know, they're on a 7-0 run. That could be potentially a 9 or a 10-0 run.
That is the third personal foul on the 6'4" sophomore, Montpremier. We talk about the top of the telecast, Meg. Who is going to come up with that big hoop? Who does UConn turn to when they really need a basket to stem the tide? They look inside to Gabby Williams, who spins it in for 2. 4 points for Gabby.
And see there, Gino was saying, all right, if you actually execute, you'll get a layup.
May have been looking for an and one as well. Prince got around Samuelson. Baylor red hot to start the second half.
Well, not a good play defensively there by Samuelson. He was almost in slow motion going for that steal.
That will drop down for Kia Nurse. 6 points for Kia. Baylor gets a little over-aggressive, trying to get it up ahead to Nina Davis. And UConn will take over down 2.
You know, that play right there, look, that opens up a wide-open shot. Why go for it? Those are the plays that Samuelson, she's smarter than that.
Crystal Dangerfield in the game for UConn. In for Sanaya Chong. Dangerfield, not shy at all, is she? 12 points for Dangerfield. Steps into the game, steps into a jumper. She's UConn's leading scorer here tonight.
She's a basketball player. She's just making plays.
Prince.
That was a really good call off that screen. Smart play by Prince.
Lady Bears back in front by 2. Nurse, perhaps finding a little rhythm, finding a little confidence, up to 8 points now.
And even Gino's going, his hands in the air like, what was that?
Tough shot, batted by Brown. I think she knocked it off her teammate Davis, but they're saying it's Baylor basketball.
The student section is trying to say it's UConn ball.
Over the top to Brown. Nafisa Collier there to get the block. Last touch by UConn. Baylor hold on to it. Good defensive play, though, from Nafisa Collier.
Collier likes that position, Lope. Right there in the middle of the lane, the left-handed block like she did at the end of the Florida State game to preserve that win.
UConn was up 1 in the final second. She came up with a block shot. 39 great minutes in the season opening win at Florida State. Career high 28 points. Wallace it in deep off the fingertips of Kalani Brown. And it's a turnover for Baylor. After coming out firing in the first 2 minutes of this third quarter. Baylor slowing down just a bit. Baylor made their first 4 field goals of the third quarter. UConn has made their last 4 field goals of the quarter. Dangerfield, great return and a foul called on Kalani Brown. That's her third. Gabby Williams will go to the line.
I have seen Crystal Dangerfield already in 2 games and 2 exhibition games make some outstanding passes. There was a tremendous bounce pass, perfectly timed. This kid is a player.
Of course, the comparison is going to be made to Mariah Jefferson, but it's only fair to compare Crystal Dangerfield now to Mariah Jefferson as a freshman. This is something you've talked about, Gino Auriemma talked about today, that Dangerfield's doing things now that Jefferson was not able to do as a freshman.
Jefferson did not have the confidence and the ball handling ability and the passing ability that Dangerfield is displaying early on.
Six points now for Gabby Williams after she converts at the free throw line to put UConn on top by 2. Natalie Cho back in for Baylor. Cho, freshman, hands off to Jones. Jones, nifty behind the back dribble, gave it up, and it's a foul, which will send Cave to the free throw line. Timeout on the floor. 4:34 to go in the third quarter. Tight one here in Storrs. It's about that time. Holiday giving should be on your mind this season. You have the option of the all-new UConn ticket gift card. It's good for any Huskies ticket package, and it's available now at UConnTickets.com. Take you back to that foul right before the media timeout here.
Now watch Collier's arm. See, they come down, and that's why the officials called the foul. They came down, and he's saying, no, that's lousy. Her arms are straight up. But you got to be straight up. She came down and initiated contact with the arms of the shooter.
That is the third personal foul on Nafisa Collier. She will stay in the game with 3 here in the third quarter. On the floor with Samuelson, Nurse, Dangerfield, and Gabby Williams.
I know how important she is to Gino Auriemma's team. I think it's a bit risky leaving her in there right now.
Cave at the free throw line. Well, especially with Collier too, who is a pretty good shot blocker. Always gets a little risky as Cave makes the second. She has 3 points. The freshman Lauren Cox will come into the game for Cave. Nina Davis very quiet so far here tonight. Has not scored 0 for 3 from the field. Davis, 2-time All-American, came into this game 14 points shy of 2,000 career points. Samuelson's been quiet. Not anymore. Katie Lou Samuelson had 7 in the first half. That's her first points of the second half. Now with 10 and UConn up by 4. Freshman on freshman here, Dangerfield and Cho. Deep 3, rebounded by Collier.
UConn rebounded well out of that zone defense.
Dangerfield feeds it into Gabby Williams. Williams goes to work on the freshman.
Great athleticism.
Jim Mulkey will get a couple of veteran posts into the game here, Megan. She's going to call a timeout to get them into the game.
She is fired up. Now Gino was going crazy himself on the bench after Gabby Williams scored. Watch this nice post up. The right-handed little baby hook. He wanted the team in that three-quarter court pressure that we saw them practice quite a bit this afternoon at shoot-around.
We just got out of the presidential election. I'm all for Gabby for 2020, but unless they're talking about 20 points, 20 rebounds, which she could do in one of these games in her career. 6-point lead for UConn.
It's interesting the different swings of momentum that we've seen here this evening. Baylor came out on fire in the beginning of the second half, and unfortunately for Mulkey, as she scratches her head, her team has cooled down a bit.
4 ties, 7 lead changes. And I think both coaches just getting warmed up when it comes to working the officials here in a game that's going to
these are
right
two
down
of the best.
wire.
Two of the best.
Premier back into the game along with Brown. Joe, defended by Nurse. Beating the Brown. Here comes the double. And reaching in and tying her up is Gabby Williams. Possession arrow, UConn.
And that's what Gino Auriemma has said. They're going to try to guard that low post in different ways. There, though, you see the double team came from the low side. The ball turned to the middle. Nice tie-up by Gabby Williams.
UConn has made its last 6 field goal attempts. Inside of 3 to play in the third quarter. Nurse takes off to the basket, has her shot blocked. Last touch by Baylor. 7 to shoot for UConn. Let's go over to Justine.
Well, Eric, Crystal Dangerfield has told me she's trying to not feel the pressure of filling Mariah Jefferson's shoes. She talks to Mariah, she texts with Mariah. Mariah gave her the advice to be herself. She said, Crystal, we are 2 different players with 2 different styles of basketball. The freshman telling me, I'm just trying to do what I can. Guys?
Thank you very much, Justine. Well, we heard it from Morgan Tuck before. Just because you graduate, it doesn't mean that you leave the program behind. You're still in contact. So Becca Lobo here earlier today. Nurse gave it off to Williams. Outside here is Dangerfield. 15 points for the freshman. UConn on top by 9. Jones determined to get it to the basket, and she will go to the free throw line. Montpremier to the bench for Baylor with her 4th personal foul. And on the other end, a foul on UConn.
And a great kick from Williams and Dangerfield, the freshman. But now watch. That was no foul. I think Dee Kantner is one of the best officials in the game, but she missed that one.
One of 2 for Alexis Jones. She has 13 points. That free throw stopped the NATO run for UConn. Dangerfield using the dribble to get a little space. Picks up the assist to Gabby Williams.
Smart play by Williams to draw Brown out from the low post. Put her in a position where she's not comfortable.
Double figure advantage for UConn.
Again, good pressure on the ball.
Jones. And a foul called on Nafisa Collier. That'll be her 4th personal foul.
She did push off with the left arm, but there's been such inconsistent officiating with the types of physicality that we've seen throughout the course of this game. She did push her.
Natalie Butler comes into the game again. Butler played 15 minutes in the first half, and
like that could have been a foul call right there on Butler.
First points in the second half for Christy Wallace, 11 for the game. Gabby Williams, that's Samuelson falling down. Williams Prince across half court. UConn matching up in the man-to-man. Approaching a minute to go in the third quarter.
They may want to go back to that zone.
Prince with 9. 6-point game.
Baylor's got grit and fight. They're not going to go away. It's like a heavyweight contest.
Nurse shut off. Back outside to Gabby Williams. Now Nurse for 3. Won't stay down. Knocked out of bounds by UConn. Baylor basketball. Here's tonight's UConn trivia question presented by Mercedes-Benz. Who did UConn defeat in the 2010 Final Four for the 77th of what would become 90 straight wins? We'll have the answer coming up in just a couple moments. Davis shut off by Butler. Jones, yes. Oh, she's been tough. Alexis Jones with 16 points.
Tough shot by Jones. I just love that kid's toughness.
Most outstanding player of the Big 12 tournament last year. Big 12 newcomer of the year, picking up where she left off last season.
Yeah, nice ball fake.
UConn had stretched it out to a 52-42 lead. The 7-0 run has brought it down to a 3-point game. Samuelson, yes. 12 for Katie Lou Samuelson. That's the end of the third quarter. Crowd will let you know what they think of what UConn was able to do in that quarter. Baylor came out firing, but UConn fought back, and there is fight in this UConn team. We've seen it in 3 quarters. They're on top by 5 with the fourth quarter to come here on SNY. Road game coming up for UConn at LSU Sunday, but then they're right back here at home on Tuesday at Gamble Pavilion to take on Dayton at 7 p.m. Tickets are available at UConnTickets.com. Let's bring you tonight's answer to our Mercedes-Benz trivia question. We wanted to know, who did UConn knock off at the 2010 Final Four to make it 77 wins in a row? Well, the answer would be the Baylor Lady Bears. Beat it by 20 in the national semifinal. Now, it's pretty good synergy here because UConn's going for their 77th win in a row here today. The 76-game winning streak on the line here against Baylor like it was back in 2010.
Couldn't script it any better.
Okay, fourth quarter, set the stage here for us, Meg. UConn's Collier, Gina Auriemma's called Collier their best player. She's on the bench with 4 fouls. What do they do here in quarter 4 against this Baylor team without Collier?
You know what? It's just toughness. You just got to play the game. Toughness and smarts is going to win this game. Whoever is tougher and smarter.
Both teams on target in the third quarter. There's Brown on the inside, and Butler gets called for the foul. Baylor was 8 of 13 from the field for 61% in the third quarter. UConn 9 of 16 for 56%.
Brown had really nice position in there. And this is where UConn has to get tougher.
That's the first personal on Natalie Butler. Baylor now 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Brown out of rhythm in the opening minutes of the game. Picked up a couple of early fouls. She has 5 points tonight, coming off a 24-point game in the opener against Houston Baptist, a 25-point game against 9th-ranked UCLA in game number 2. Kia Nurse. Nurse will try it from outside. That one won't go down.
Great rebound by Brown.
Nurse now 3 of 12 from the field. Good recovery by Nurse to challenge a shot from Wallace, who wanted the foul called. But Baylor battling on the glass, had one shot at it, but Butler makes sure it's just one.
I like them. I mean, great rebound by Butler. She's always looking for the long outlet pass. Wisely didn't throw it that time because there was traffic, but she's always looking up.
Dangerfield, deep three. Big fall as Gabby Williams came down on top of Nina Davis.
Wow.
Davis up quickly.
That had a WWE feel to it.
It's a body slam right there. Davis's leg got caught behind as well, but she seems to be okay. Trying to set a screen for Jones, who doesn't need a screen. She just takes it to the basket and scores again. Alexis Jones now with 18 points.
That's the senior showing the freshman how to do it.
Dangerfield drops it to Butler, and Butler called for the walk.
I mean, look at this. This is just strength. And to go back to the left hand as well, just toughness.
You've got Jones, who's a grad student, who has experience playing for Duke and for Baylor, going up against a freshman who was in high school at Blackman High School in Dangerfield a year ago at this time. Turned over by Baylor, UConn ball. Trying to get Samuelson involved. Samuelson put it on the floor and lost the basketball. Turnover number 10 for UConn.
You know, that shows some of the weaknesses on Gina Waliama's team. It's difficult for Katie Lou to create her own shot off the dribble.
That inside. Brown using her body to get some space. She has 7, and we're tied at 54.
What can Brown do for you?
Baylor has battled back from a 10-point second-half deficit. Dangerfield forced one up, and Brown lost the handle. But guess who? Alexis Jones there to clean it up. And a foul is called on Kia Nurse.
I was saying earlier, it's going to be toughness, right? A little fake over the left shoulder, going hard over the right shoulder. She just wanted it more.
Well, knowing that the game is at its turning point right at this moment, Gino Auriemma has no choice but to bring in Nafisa Collier. Picked up her 4th personal foul with 1:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. So here she is in the 4th, playing with 4 as Butler goes to the bench.
Yeah, Butler needs a blow, too. Give her a rest, maybe get her back in a couple minutes.
Jones got Gabby Williams in the air. Williams recovered. Off the miss, here comes UConn on the run. Nurse struck it down to Gabby Williams for 2. Gino Auriemma telling his team on defense, keep their hands up. Look big. You're not bigger than Baylor, but you got to at least look big. That was the message this afternoon before the game. Jones as Samuelson blows by. And hit the open shot.
Terrific box out by Nafisa Collier on the much taller Brown.
Samuelson wants to take it to the basket. Collier, the putback.
It's amazing they didn't call the foul as Samuelson got knocked to the ground, but Collier making her presence felt on both ends of the floor since she's back in the game.
Inside of 6 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. It's been an entertaining matchup between 2nd-ranked Baylor, 3rd-ranked UConn. Samuelson touched it last. 9 to shoot for Baylor as they bring Montpremier back into the game. Tonight's drive of the game is presented by Chevrolet. Nurse to Williams.
Nice timing on the pass, too, to the open Williams.
Wallace. Collier with the rebound. That's the 10th rebound tonight for Nafisa Collier. Samuelson is fouled. That'll be the first team foul this quarter on Baylor. Prince picks up her second personal foul. Collier, Williams, Dangerfield, Nurse, and Samuelson, the 5 on the floor for UConn. Crystal Dangerfield leading the way for the Huskies with 15 points. Cold shooting night for Kia Nurse. Williams will try the jumper.
That's not the offense they're looking for.
Looking inside to Brown. Five minutes to go in the fourth. Jones, Williams out there defensively. Jones spinning, stripped by Dangerfield. Picked up by Nurse. Throwing up ahead to Gabby Williams, who had to wait just a second but finishes.
That could have stopped. I thought they were going to call an offensive foul on Kia Nurse in the backcourt.
Great play by Dangerfield on defense. They feed it inside. And Brown quiets the crowd. She has 9.
Great timing to get the ball into Brown. They need movement and spacing on offense. Baylor's done a terrific job of clogging things up defensively.
7 to shoot. Dangerfield all the way through and spins it in for 2 more.
That even got a smile out of her coach.
Jones lost it. Dangerfield got it, and a foul called on Wallace, who had to knock the freshman down, but that's the only way Baylor's been able to stop her here tonight. 19 points now for freshman Crystal Dangerfield, who limps to the bench, but she has stood tall here tonight. The drive to the basket. UConn with a timeout on the floor. 3:48 to go in the fourth, on top by 6. We're not going anywhere today, Michelle. No question about it. We've got this game, post-game, and then the men's game against Loyola Marymount. 3:48 to go in the fourth quarter. 6-point lead for UConn. Nafisa Collier with 4 personal fouls. She has 6 points and 10 rebounds, but the star of the show, Crystal Dangerfield, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover in her 26 minutes.
And Gino Auriemma is irate that foul wasn't called on Christy Wallace.
Samuelson, a foul is called here on Alexis Prince. Samuelson going to the line.
And that's the kind of offense that UConn was not running earlier in the game that had Gino Auriemma pretty perturbed. Draw the foul. You got to give Baylor a lot of credit for forcing the UConn. They really forced them to stand around offensively. They clogged things up in there, and UConn played right into their hands.
See Samuelson's numbers, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. That's a 3rd personal foul on Prince. And Samuelson up to 14 points. Wallace into the front court. 3.5 minutes to play here in Storrs. The freshman Cho back on the floor now for Baylor. Gabby Williams fronting Montpelier, and the rebound for UConn. 1 and done as Samuelson comes away.
Pretty aggressive take there by Cho. Gutsy, I would call it.
Nurse to Dangerfield. Inside of 3 to play. Samuelson's third three-point attempt of the night. A little too long. And Wallace jogs it across half court with Baylor down by 8. Brown. Premier spins, and an offensive foul called.
Mulkey is irate, and she's saying it's awful. I don't know why Brown is at the high post, but you know, they're little right elbow, maybe some dramatics by Williams, but it's devastating for Mulkey and Baylor because that's Montpremier's 5th foul. But my question is, why wasn't Brown in that low post getting the ball? She's unstoppable down there.
Premier done 6 points, 10 rebounds, and now some pressure in the backcourt brought by Baylor. UConn across half court with ease. Inside Collier. Collier against the freshman, won't go down. Lauren Cox into the game for Montpremier.
They could have eaten a little clock there. I like the aggressiveness taking it, but they could have eaten some clock.
Alexis Jones back into the game. Turnover taken away by UConn.
If UConn wins this game, I give Williams the play of the game right there.
There's still time for Crystal to win back your heart, man. There is Dangerfield inside of 10 on the shot clock. Brings it out. Does she have one more trick up her sleeve? Dangerfield, little stop and go, throws it up, and it's a shot clock violation. Baylor will take over. Kadisha Cave coming into the game as Kalani Brown will head to the bench.
You know, the big talk was Baylor has got the height advantage. How about that? Just toughness by Gabby Williams.
Toughness and quickness.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
coming
one
around
edge
the
that
low
we've
side.
seen. Yeah, they don't have the size as a foul was called here on Kia Nurse. That'll be her 4th. People's United Bank post-game show standing by. A lot to talk about. This matchup between number 3 UConn, number 2 Baylor. UConn on top by 8 with 1:35 to go.
Gino's saying switch every screen.
Wallace.
Or just leave her wide open.
For 3, couldn't get it. Collier reaches out and gets the rebound into the hands of Dangerfield.
The crowd on their feet. UConn needs to eat some clock here.
They bring it down to 1:15 now. Everybody up here at Gamble. Full house here in Stores. Dangerfield puts it up and in. And I think a foul was just called on Baylor's Alexis Prince.
Just so incredibly impressed with the toughness of this freshman.
Now watch under the basket here. There's Prince giving a push to Kia Nurse. And now we're coming back across the court. They may be going to the monitor here. Nurse and UConn was acting like the foul was called on Prince. They're going to send both teams to their benches. Let's watch the hoop and let's see what happens after. We're going to get a really good look here from the baseline. No, that's nothing.
Some dramatics there.
That's no foul. But
good acting.
I don't know. UConn was acting like a foul had been called. There's certainly nothing of the flagrant variety here. In fact, that shouldn't even be a common foul. It should just be play on.
Exactly. Trust me, with so much of the contact that we've seen throughout the game, if they call something now at this juncture, I think it's a mistake.
There has not been a foul posted on the official score sheet yet, so perhaps the Silly Blue has whistled just to calm things down. Just a little shove, and that's just a straight-on acting job by Kia Nurse. There should be Baylor ball on the baseline.
Hey, Dee Kantner just told me this is her 33rd season coaching, reffing basketball. That's a long time.
I think we're getting an explanation here. The way things are transpiring here, I wonder if they did call a foul, although they are at the scores table now to talk it over. So a dead ball contact technical foul has been called on Baylor. So it's 2 free throws here for UConn.
And then the ball back. I am stunned. I didn't think it warranted that.
Largest lead of the game for the Huskies. They're on top by 12. Gabby Williams, the pass to Collier to put this one away. Inside of a minute to play here in Stores. Jones backs in Dangerfield for 2 more. She's got 20.
And Jones is saying, well, I wasn't fouled there. She's got a point.
Baylor not fouling here in the backcourt as Kia Nurse will bring it into the front court. Well, like we said at the top, this wasn't any ordinary November matchup. Perhaps these two teams will meet again on the road to Dallas, or perhaps in Dallas. Collier inside, 2 more.
The timing and the little up fake and the step through.
Jones, 1 more 3 and a timeout called here by Baylor. 23 points for Alexis Jones.
Impressive effort by UConn, particularly late. You know, Baylor went on that 7-0 run to start the second half. And you got to give it to UConn and their resilience and their toughness. I've been impressed.
And when it comes to our People's United Bank player of the game, you got to give it to the freshman.
Absolutely.
Crystal Dangerfield, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover in 30 minutes.
When we talked off the top of the show, where is the scoring going to come from? We didn't anticipate the freshman would step up and lead the team, and that's what Gino had said. You know, he's not really sure where it's coming from. Well, he learned a lot from her here tonight.
Samuelson's got it in the backcourt to Gabby Williams. Final 10 seconds. Williams ahead to Nurse, and that will do it. When you win 11 national championships, of course, you have bigger wins in your history, but it's hard to imagine a more satisfying win for Gino Auriemma as this new group of UConn Huskies comes away with a 72-61 victory over Baylor.
This is more than just a win on the schedule. This team is learning its identity. They're figuring it out. They're trusting each other. And that freshman just came up big here tonight.
77 in a row. The last time they hit the 77 in a row mark, they did it at Baylor's expense in the Final Four. They do it here on a November night, just the second game of the season, but such a big game as this team tries to make its own name, establish its own identity, and it's a win for the Huskies. 72-61 the final. Here's Justine with Gino Auriemma.
Coach, a new era in UConn basketball, starting out the season with 2 wins. How did this team play against 2 big opponents?
You know, it was a real struggle at Florida State, and it was a real struggle tonight. And it's going to be a real struggle the entire season, but I think we grew up a lot tonight. You know, that second half, especially those last 7 or 8 minutes, we really showed a lot of character and a lot of guts, and you know, we really gave up a lot of size, and I love the way we fought them, you know, for the entire 40 minutes, and I couldn't be more proud of our guys.
19 points for Crystal Dangerfield. Thoughts on the freshman?
Well, somebody asked me that earlier today, and I said she has a chance to be as good as she wants to be. So whatever she wants to do, she can do. As you can tell, there's not a lot of things on the basketball court that she doesn't do very well. And I guess if I play her more, you know, she's going to do more.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Erica Meg, back to you.
All right, Justina Gino, thank you very much. 72-61, the final as the freshman leads UConn with 21 points. Back to wrap it up with Meg before we get to the postgame show in just a moment.